Arsenal versus Man City.
We are very much looking forward to, but we're also looking forward to hearing from Ayo. There he is approaching the Emirates Stadium. Now, he made it. I mean, none of you had any faith.
Well, hang on. No, I need to see something more than a road.
Is that him?
No,
I need
he's
confirmation.
there.
I want to see
Well,
the arches.
there.
It
I
could
don't
be a
think
double.
he's going to stop randomly in London, is he, Don?
How do we know that? How do we
Could
know
be a
he's there?
double.
Yeah, but the traffic looks bad, doesn't it?
Yeah. Come on.
Look at all
Where
the
is he?
traffic. Oh, my God.
This is
That's
the ultimate
I mean,
challenge.
I can tell
This
you
is fun.
the stadium is going to arrive on its left-hand side in a second.
Okay.
I grew up around, that's where I went to school.
Is that Islington?
That's Islington.
Islington.
Hornsey Road, and there's the stadium.
There you go. The Emirates
Yeah.
Stadium. He is approaching.
The bike's going faster than him.
Waving. Yeah, you did it, Ayo.
And look, the white cyclist is going to catch it.
Oh, wow.
It's been overtaken.
White push right.
Slows up.
Is that Mike Marsh who used to play for Liverpool, Don?
I don't think that cyclist was very happy with him. Oh, there you go. Well, he made it.
He did
and he
make
did it
it.
in good time, I think, didn't he?
I mean, I've not seen one car on the road.
No. It was way back.
Yeah,
Don.
he couldn't run. So,
Well-
I mean, he's at the Emirates, of course, and
Well done. Well done.
Arsenal facing Manchester City. That is going to be a massive game because Arsenal, 5 wins in a row, facing a side that have got 10 in a row.
Good maths, JJ.
Cheers.
This is the acid test. This is the acid test for Arsenal fans. The form that the young boys have been in. The manager's been in great form as well. This is the test when you play City, how far you've really come.
Yeah, look, it's a massive game, and I keep thinking this is the game Arsenal are going to turn up in. This is the big game that Arsenal are going to do something in. They keep letting me down, so I wonder if this is the time.
Because last time we expected something from Arsenal when they faced Liverpool, when they were on a decent run, they got...
So I clarify that I expected something, no one else did.
Well, look, I think Ayo looks like he's ready to talk to us. Ayo, we're so proud of you. You made it.
Hey.
How was the journey?
Don't be proud of me. Be proud of Michael, the guy that's literally on the motorbike, is riding me, literally cutting through the entirety of the London traffic. I know you guys didn't see any traffic there, but it was decent. It was decent. It's a fair bit, especially down central London. Anyway,
just
we're at
quickly,
the Emirates, the second leg of my... Yeah, go on then.
You've still got your helmet on.
Of course, man, because I'm going to jump on the bike.
Saving time.
Jay.
Always thinking.
Yeah,
Always thinking.
well
So I'm
done.
here with Harry Symeou. Harry Symeou is a journalist, and we're here at the Emirates to talk about Arsenal's clash against Manchester City. Harry, let's start with Arsenal's current form. Incredible for Gunners fans, right?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. It's been so good to see this team finally clicking into gear because, of course, you know, it was a really ropey start to the season. There was a lot of concern as to whether Mikel Arteta was the right man, whether this project was ever actually going to come to anything. And it hasn't yet. You know, we're still not where we want to be. You know, the table will show us whether we are or not in May. But to see the good signs and to see the positive signs is obviously really encouraging, and it's great to watch.
Yeah, it really is. Let's talk about the young Gunners, in particular Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka, in the last few games, has really shown why he's potentially a future Arsenal captain. This boy is on fire, and also linking with Smith Rowe. Odegaard now coming into his own as an Arsenal player as well. It's looking like these young lads are driving this team forward.
Yeah, and it's important that they all come together at the right time. You know, timing is often so key in football, and to have a group of young players coming through, players that we've produced as a football club, and players that we've brought in, the likes of Martin Odegaard, who's still of a very young age, people forget that, and we've brought into the club. To see them all clicking together is wonderful. You mentioned Bukayo Saka. It's easy to forget how young he is because of how long he's been in and around the first team. He's shown incredible versatility. He's played left back, left wing, right wing, attacking midfield. He's played everywhere, and he's done it all with such maturity. Added goals to his game as well recently, which is a massive, massive help for us, because I think if you were going into this season, one of the big worries would have been, do we have enough in terms of goals from some of these young players to get us to where we need to be? But they've stepped up, and he's at the forefront of that.
Well, let's talk about goals, actually, because someone who isn't firing and someone who actually isn't in the squad at the moment is Aubameyang. But weirdly, Arsenal seem to be playing better without him. We talk about future captains. Lacazette is currently captaining in the squad. Do you think Lacazette's now fulfilling his potential as an Arsenal player with Aubameyang now not in the squad?
I think it was evident last season that Arsenal have tactically evolved beyond Aubameyang, and I don't mean that disrespectfully to Aubameyang. He's a great striker and he's had a wonderful career, but Arsenal require a striker who gives a lot more in terms of build-up play, in terms of link-up play. And if you look back to last season as well, the best games that Saka had, that Smith Rowe had, that Odegaard had, were with Lacazette as that number 9, because he's so good at linking up the play. And I think we've just evolved tactically, and Aubameyang is just not the perfect fit anymore. It doesn't mean he's a bad player, but obviously everything that's going on behind the scenes is not ideal. And that's why, you know, I think maybe it's done good in terms of the harmony within the dressing room that he's not here.
Very quickly, we haven't got good record against Manchester City at all. How do you think tomorrow's match is going to go?
I'm going to be positive because we're on a good run of form. I think what Arsenal have the ability to do now is find that balance a little bit better. You know, when we went to the Etihad earlier in the season, we were really defensive. We had a lot of players missing. Now we've got that kind of attacking ability as well, and things are clicking in that sense. I think there's more chance of Arsenal being balanced enough to give Manchester City problems. So 2-1 to the Arsenal.
That's all I like to hear, 2-1 to the Arsenal. Now, we've asked everyone to bring a little bit of fan memorabilia. What have you brought with you today?
So I've brought with me the last match day programme from Arsene Wenger's tenure, because for me, Arsene Wenger signifies everything that Arsenal's all about. I came to my first game at Highbury in 1996, so I only ever knew Arsene Wenger up until he left the club, and he shaped this. This, what you're seeing here, this is because of Arsene Wenger, and he's so important, and I just think this marks the end of an era. I couldn't bring sort of loads of stuff with me, so I picked this up, but yeah, definitely.
You are an absolute legend. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. 2-1 to the Arsenal. You heard it there. Right, I'm going to keep this helmet on because I'm off to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. If any Tottenham fans know I'm going to be there, I'm going to need it. See you in a sec.
Oh, brilliant stuff from Io there. I think he'll make it in good time, don't you?
He's very game, isn't he?
He is, and we like it. We like the spirit you're showing there, Io. And actually, picking up on the conversation they were just having, no Aubameyang in the side. And earlier on, you both said that Arteta made the right decision to drop him because they are performing better. But why are they performing better without him?
Because it's not all about Aubameyang, it's about the team. And he's given the freedom to the young players. It's no surprise that Martinelli's come in and done so well. No surprise that Lacazette has come in. And even though Lacazette is missing chance and opportunities, other players are getting more opportunities. And all of a sudden, when the talisman is left out of the side, it leaves a space for other players to go in to lift their game by 5-10%. And I think the whole Arsenal team have lifted their game. They thought, yeah, people are saying it's all about him. It's not. It's about us as a collective. And it's Saka scoring goals, even Smith Rowe when he's scoring goals. The team just looks better. And I always felt that, even when Aubameyang didn't have a problem with Arteta, I always felt the team functioned better. Yes, they didn't have his goals, but I just felt the way that they played, the way that they operated was better in terms of the team.
You've got to feel at this present time, Martinelli's a better centre forward than Aubameyang. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think so.
More the future.
Yeah. So when you look at what the manager's got to deal with, he's got a better player in Martinelli. If he's got a problem, he's binned him to the side, so that shows strength. Tomiyasu, I think, has been a terrific buy. He's got real character. Tierney on the other side. So for Arsenal fans, this is a very good sign. You just come up against the Man City side who have not beaten in 9.
Yeah, tight. OK, now Leroy mentioned him there. We can now hear from one attacker who's having a cracker.
At the club, the vibes in the change room, and I think around the club with the fans, everyone's excited because of what we're doing, and yeah, we just want to continue it. I'm just trying to put in a lot of performances that are quite consistent now to try and chip in with more goals and assists to obviously help my team in the final third, which is where the games are won. So the last 2 games I've scored 3 goals, and I hope I can score many more. Goals are always amazing to celebrate with your teammates, and also the results we're getting as well. We're getting some wins as well, which is really good for us. So I'm really enjoying the football right now. We never stop believing in him and his way of how he wants us to play, and he gave us so much confidence and so much belief that if we do the things he's saying, we'll win. And we kept working at it every day on the training pitch, and we're starting to get the results slowly now. We obviously know anything's possible, but we have to stay humble right now. We're on a good run, but how hard the Premier League is. You lose a game, you lose another, and things look completely different.
Flagged in by Jesus. This another horrible afternoon for Arsenal. Played 3, lost 3, scored none, and conceded 9. The worst start in Arsenal's history.
We've come a long way from the last time we played them. As well as they are, we're on a good run as well. We're at home at the Emirates, so in football there's always a chance. We're just gonna obviously prepare and make sure we're ready to fight and give our all. And our ambition is to obviously compete at the top, and they are the champions. So this is a going to be a good test for us, and everyone knows how big of a club Arsenal is, and everyone knows Arsenal belong in the Champions League, and you know that's our mission and our goal to achieve that this season.
I must start by apologising to that link.
It was brilliant.
That was your best one.
That was
Ever.
the best thing you've ever done in your life.
You should do more of that.
Can I give an honourable mention to my comedy writer, DK, then?
Yeah, of course you can. Well done,
DK.
DK.
I won't, but I should.
Okay, no problem.
Saka, an impressive young man, Leroy.
Impressive I love this guy. And do you know what? What just set the tone for me is, you know, we're talking about Lukaku saying, "Oh, I don't want to play in this position." This guy played left back, played everywhere, and he did it brilliantly. And he just, I'll go and do that. I'll go and do that. And the manner in which he talks there, look, it's confident but humble as well. No, he's really focused. He's got an international side, not faced with it. He obviously the European Championships, what happened to him when he missed a penalty. He's
brave to take a penalty.
Brave to take one in the first place. But he set the tone for Arsenal. And, you know, himself, you know, Smith Rowe, you know, people talk about bravery, but sometimes bravery isn't just about tackling people in the head. Bravery is about getting on the ball when there's 20,000 people having a go at you. And that's what him and Smith Rowe did. And from that, Arsenal have got this belief in themselves as a team. And all of a sudden, it's spreading through the team. And, you know, a few weeks, and I sensed it about, we've been saying about Smith Rowe and Saka for a long time, but all of a sudden, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I sensed it about the whole team. Everybody wanted to get on the ball. You've got White, who's gone in there, he's getting on the ball. All of a sudden, Gabriel, who looked out of his depth when he first came into the side, he looks like he's grown a foot and he wants to dominate games. Tomiyasu's coming, he looks like, I want to get involved in this. Odegaard wants to get on the whole team want to get on the ball. They're under pressure. They want to do something. And that was set by this guy.
What I've noticed about Arsenal this season, especially Saka, Don, is how they've sort of risen from the adversity, because there was a little bit of a Euros hangover with his performances when he came back to Arsenal. And when someone's so young, it's always interesting to see how long it takes them to get out of that funk. Not only has he come out of it, I think he's exceeded the levels he was at the previous season. How do you see it?
Exactly the same. And I think when you look at Saka, and I echo everything Leroy said about him, he's one of these guys where it doesn't really mean anything, but I'll never look at Saka there having a yellow tinge in his hair or earrings dangling down. Excuse me. He's just a humble guy that speaks really well, who I can imagine is brilliant inside the dressing room. I also look at him and listen to him and think he's the type of kid that will take information on well. Yeah. He'll lean on Arteta. He'll lean on some of the experienced pros. Wonderful talent, like Leroy said, can play any position, and he plays them well. And I look at him and I just think, you know, and the best part of the performances from Saka so far in the last 18 months is he's not even the finished article. And that doesn't mean he's a bad player that's not going to go on and hit new heights. I see so much more in him. And that's going to be so much more of experience. He's, 21? A youngster, 22? Going into his prime in 5, 6, 7 years away? I mean, this kid, if you're an Arsenal fan, embodies, I think, when you're paying your money, when you're watching your players play, and you turn on the TV and one of your players are doing an interview, everything he says is perfect.
John, you're absolutely right. And the other thing is, you know, you mentioned the Aubameyang game. I don't want to keep having to go at Aubameyang, but when you're going into these games against the bigger sides, and you as an Arsenal fan are saying, well, if Aubameyang turns up, then we got a chance. And he ain't going to turn up. All of a sudden, it's all the focus now changed to, well, if Saka turns up, if Saka does the business, then we've got... And that's why things have changed around, because the big players are him. The big players is Odegaard. He needs to get on the ball. He needs to dictate. And
you mentioned Ramsdale before.
Ramsdale, absolutely. You know, so all of a sudden, Arsenal fans recognise that, well, if he turns up, we got a chance. And by the way, 99 times out of 100, he turns up.
By the way, he's still only 20.
Yeah, 20 years old. He has such a bright future ahead. So they have, no doubt, some bright stars in the camp. But the challenge is Manchester City. And you mentioned the stat already. So how can they, if they can, how can they get at this Man City side?
Well, they have to start well. They've got to be confident. The manager, Arteta, will have a plan. But City's another level. You know, City and Pep, with, as I mentioned before, sitting with 50 points on the board, they're a different animal. So the test won't be, I don't think, from the end result of the game. It's how they play. If they're in it and they play well and they have good moments and they show character, like Leroy said, even if they go 2 behind, which is quite possible, has Saka got the bravery to get on the ball? He will. Has Partey got the bravery? Has Xhaka? Has Martinelli? Has Odegaard? Is Ramsdale's confidence still going to be there when you've let a couple in? So the acid test is going to be in how the game flows which way it flows. If it goes against you, that's when you need bravery. Not when you're winning 1-0 on an hour. Is if you go 2-0 down inside 20 minutes or half an hour, how are you going to react?
Last 4 games at the Emirates against City, Leroy, Arsenal haven't scored a goal. If they are to beat Manchester City, how do they do it quickly?
Very quickly. They've got to be brave. They've got to start well.
Score a goal.
They've got to score a goal. They've got to score a goal. I think the worrying thing for Arsenal is the team that Man City played at Brentford. Because you know what? I thought it was half Man City's reserve team players.
Yeah.
You know, Rodri, Mahrez, Sterling. He's targeted.
Grealish never worked as a false nine.
You know, but Pep knows this is a big game. You know, Zinchenko almost becoming at left back. Obviously, Cancelo's had a few concerns with his family to see if he plays. But I think that's a real problem. But I think Pep knows that this is going to be a difficult game. I don't think Arsenal will get a result, but I do, and I've been saying it for so long, I expect a performance.
Wow. Good. Well, it will be a very happy new year for Manchester City, who have opened up an 8-point gap at the top of the Premier League table. And while Pep Guardiola has plenty of stars to thank for their progress, one of them shines brighter than most. With a shout, but then so would everyone else.
Cancelo for me.
Really?
Diaz,
start of the year was incredible. I just think...
Rodri.
Just amazing. Really. Sterling's done well towards the end.
Loads of them.
Yeah, quite a lot.
We all have a lot of love for him.
Mahrez is a name that I think he's hit a level of consistency where it's so good that he always gets forgotten in these conversations.
It's because, JJ, he's so good, but we don't often see him. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because when he plays, he's unbelievable and he's got a touch like Velcro and he makes the game look ridiculously easy. Then all of a sudden he'll find himself in the team for 4 or 5 games. You think, right, he's nailed on.
Yeah.
Right, he's got Pep's love. And then all of a sudden you won't see him for a month.
Yeah.
Competition's too strong.
Talk about nailed on. That's why he's always in the side. Cancelo's always in the side. Remember, start of the season, people were saying, Grealish is coming in, Bernardo Silva's on his way, he's not happy, you know. And I was thinking, what? This guy is ridiculous. And you know what? He's even better than I thought he was. I thought he was amazing. He's added goals to his game. He's now controlling the game as well. And, you know, when David Silva left, we were talking about Foden coming in. That Foden is an incredible player. But this guy is now, you know, remember when he used to play up front, false nine? He'd play wide on the right, he'd play wide on the left. And now he's playing in midfield. The quality of him is just ridiculous.
But even just behind him, Leroy, when you think... See, I'm a massive Gundogan fan, always will be. I've watched him for many a year, and he's one of the most consistent players, I think, in the Premier League over the last 4 or 5 years. He's incredible. He's not hit the heights, and that's by his bar and his standard. So he's getting a lot fitter. De Bruyne's now only over the last couple of weeks starting to improve as well.
And that's the scary part. They've done a lot of this with...
That's what I mean. And this guy, as Leroy said, in the summer, was the favourite to be on his way. And he's thought, I'm not having any of that. Like good pros do. He's seen Jack Grealish come through the door and went, no.
What's his best position, Lee?
Anywhere on the pitch, because he'll just do a job. Anywhere on the pitch. Is he the best Portuguese player at the moment?
I would say so.
I think so.
I mean, he's got good competition.
You know, talking about Bruno Fernandes, talking about Ronaldo. He's the best player.
You forgot Jota there.
Well, absolutely, but he's the best Portuguese player at the moment. And you know, you're saying, what's his best position? Well, he's just got to play in the big games because he sets the tone without... I've never seen anybody run as much without the ball at the pace he runs for 90 minutes and then do it again. He sets the tone without the ball. And people say, look, Man City are terrific in possession, and they are. But it's what they do out of possession that's...
It's a great... Also, when you watch him as well, it's a great testament to any boy or girl watching on. You don't have to be the biggest and strongest anymore.
No, exactly.
Barca showed that 10 years ago. But the Premier League, the biggest, the fastest, strongest league in the world, you can't substitute class. You know, you can add bits, and you add bits to different teams and bits and bobs. But then you get someone like Bernardo Silva, and you go pure cream when you watch him.
He is just beautiful to watch.
class.
Also, if you think about Manchester City, we often associate them with high-scoring games, keeping clean sheets, firing 4 or 5 past teams. But against Brentford, it was very different. They weren't actually at their vintage best, yet they still managed to win, which is another thing they've added to their repertoire.
Had to dig in.
They didn't play very well. And I did look at the team, you know, I'm calling Fernandinho a reserve, you know, but he's a great reserve. And the goal was that it was just onside. We came just at the right time. This was just offside. And this, they thought, would seal the game.
For it. Yeah, exactly. Laporte's just offside, but the camera's panned on Pep at about the hour mark, and he was fidgety.
Yeah.
He was agitated because it was a game that he could smell, and he was thinking, we're 1-0 up, but we're being 1-0 up for an age, and Brentford will get one chance, And Brentford at home this season, after beating some big teams and drawing 3-3 against Liverpool, they are always in the game.
And to be fair, he paid him a lot of respect playing Ake at left back because he was worried about set pieces, and that's why I had him in there. That's why I had Fernandinho, because even though Fernandinho, you feel he's smaller than Rodri, he's better in the air defensively. So he paid him respect. But I was looking at that side with Jesus in it, with Grealish in it, and I was thinking, you know, that's not their best side, you know. And but they got the 3 points, they got the job done, and they've done it on numerous occasions. You know, they've just got over the line. The Wolves game is one that comes to mind. The penalty with Sterling comes to mind, but they've just got over the line. But it's no coincidence they do get the job done because of that resilience and because of the way they defend. You know, you talk about people getting opportunities against them. There's not many teams getting the final third against them to get an opportunity.
So poor results for Chelsea midweek, of course, Don against Brighton, Liverpool against Leicester, means that Man City sit clear by 8 points at the top. And as you can see, I suppose the question and the fear for Liverpool and Chelsea is if we're going to close the gap, we need them to come back towards us. And we can't see it happening, can we?
No, not as it stands at the moment, but you can't write off any Premier League season before January the 1st. You just can't. I mean, all of your knowledge thinks City's too good and they'll run away with it. Having played in the Premier League and watched it for so many years, they'll have a dip. Someone will take some points off them. They've got hard fixtures coming up. They've got Chelsea to play, Arsenal obviously up next, Liverpool, I think end of Jan or beginning of Feb. So there's going to be a point if Chelsea and if Liverpool, which obviously can't happen this weekend, go on a run and they stick 5 together, I guarantee you, even though Man City done this last year where they're on 10 wins at the moment, they won 15 last year, there'll be a point where City drop some points. It might not be against Arsenal, it might be the week later, but I guarantee you they're not going to be flawless from now at the end of the season, even though they're brilliant. It's, as I said before, it's can Chelsea and can Liverpool play flawless football and win every game from after this weekend to the heart of the season.
It's a tough ask, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
But then you've got Champions League football back, haven't you? You've got the FA Cup, we've got the different cups, Carabao
Cup.
Yeah.
8 for Chelsea, 9 for Liverpool with a game in hand is doable. Of course it is.
Well, we know that one thing's for sure, Sunday's game between Chelsea and Liverpool is so important, but Man City will probably keep their incredible run going because they are just unstoppable.
Well, Joseph, what a party.
Yeah, it was a great victory for the players, the fans and everyone.
What do you think about your performance?
I think it was good, and each game it keeps getting better.
We need this match, no, with 3 goals.
Yeah, it was really great because we fought hard for this victory, and everyone deserved to be happy.
Bueno, es el mejor partido de la temporada en lo que va de Liga, ¿no?
No sé si el mejor, pero sí el que hemos sabido jugar con el marcador a nuestro favor, que nos estaba costando mucho. Y sobre todo felices por ganar en casa, porque nos estaba costando muchísimo. Desde que hay público en el estadio solo habíamos ganado un partido de no sé cuántos. O sea que hoy el partido creo que era fundamental porque nos ponemos también a 3 puntos del Español, que es un rival directo, para alejarnos de abajo, para irnos tranquilos de vacaciones y pensar en lo que viene.
Con el partido contra el Valencia también nos ponemos por delante, pero el Chacho se quejaba, ¿no? Un poco que nos había faltado controlar el partido. Hoy es lo que tú dices, ¿no? Se ha conseguido.
Bueno, sobre todo hoy no hemos tenido errores individuales que nos pagaron contra el Valencia. Creo que es un partido para sacar conclusiones positivas. Hemos vuelto a ganar en casa, tenemos que hacernos fuertes aquí de lo que queda de temporada, porque fuera de casa sí el equipo está respondiendo bien y tenemos que seguir esta línea.
Cuéntame el gol, ¿no? Porque ha sido una jugada rápida, pero cuando te ha llegado ha sido como mucha pausa, las pican. ¿Cómo ha sido?
Bueno, recibo de Hugo, controlo y normalmente Diego López suele salir a tapar. Veo muchos partidos y Diego López en los 1 para 1 suele salir a tapar, entonces yo controlo y él no ve lo que voy a hacer, entonces intento picársela un poquito y cruzársela con tranquilidad.
¿Cómo ya tocaba?
Tocaba, pero ahora mismo sentimos una alegría inmensa, ya no solo por el partido, sino estamos trabajando como el que más, estamos en el día a día muy sacrificados, con los pies en la tierra, con humildad, y al final somos una piña y hoy nos lo merecíamos y se lo merecía también la afición, que pues mira, no estamos ganando, no nos están saliendo los partidos en casa y aún así la afición cree en nosotros, nos apoya y nos transmite el cariño día a día.
Eso te iba a decir, has dicho que sois una piña equipo, pero la afición también, hemos visto ese momento tan bonito ahí en la esquina.
Sí, sabemos que le debemos mucho a esta afición, no solo de esta temporada, sino que por desgracia hemos vivido un par de temporadas muy jodidas, sobre todo a nivel mental. muy difíciles de sacar y las hemos sacado esas temporadas gracias al apoyo de ellos. En otra situación, en otro equipo, la afición lo dejaría de lado y aquí, cuanto peor iban las cosas, más estaban con uno y con el equipo. Y eso es de agradecer y se lo agradeceremos hoy, mañana y en un futuro.
En lo personal, vuelves después de varias semanas que parecía que sí, pero al final no, 90 minutos con asistencia.
La verdad que bueno, no estoy al 100%, pero creo que he podido ayudar al equipo. Venía de mucho tiempo parado, unos problemas que no se me daban ido. Entrenaba, tenía que volver a parar, volví a aparecer, volví a parar. Bueno, espero que ahora sea el fin de esta lesión del carajo, porque ya estoy frito y que pueda ayudar y contribuir al equipo.
Saka 2001, 2022.
Por el 2022 a tope. Tenemos que seguir con los pies en la tierra, saber quiénes somos, de dónde venimos y con esta afición, con el equipo, con el compañerismo y el sacrificio. No quiero ser pesado, pero creo que son las claves para mirar hacia adelante en un futuro.
Gracias, Hugo.
Gracias a vosotros.
Gracias, Hugo.